January 29th, 1945, 2:47 p.m. Holzheim, Belgium. Around a farmhouse corner strides First Sergeant Leonard Funk, then freezes completely. 90 German soldiers stare directly at him. Weapons fill the hands of half. The remaining half retrieve rifles from a ground pile. 4 American GIs kneel in snow, hands positioned behind heads. These Germans held prisoner status 20 minutes earlier. 80 had been captured during Funk's company assault on this village. 4 guards watched them, all the men that could be spared. Now they've gained freedom, acquired arms, and begun organizing for a rear attack on Company C. Forward steps a German officer, jamming an MP-40 submachine gun into Funk's belly, shrieking something in German. Funk possesses no German language ability. Neither does any other American present. The officer shrieks again, louder, face reddening. Funk surveys the 90 Germans, surveys his 4 weaponless soldiers, surveys the MP-40 pressed to his stomach, then begins laughing. The German officer's face contorts with bewilderment, then fury. He shrieks more loudly. Funk laughs more heartily. Events unfold in under 60 seconds. 21 Germans will perish. The remainder will abandon their weapons and capitulate, and Leonard Funk will receive the Medal of Honor for one of World War II's most insane combat actions, all triggered by unstoppable laughter. Leonard Alfred Funk, Jr. entered the world August 27, 1916, in Braddock Township, Pennsylvania, a steel town, smokestacks and foundries lining the Monongahela River, 8 miles east of Pittsburgh. Funk matured quickly. Early responsibility became his reality. By high school graduation in 1934, he'd already spent years caring for his younger brother. The Great Depression ground through year 5. Jobs proved scarce. College remained pure fantasy. June 1941 brought war raging across Europe and Asia, with Congress extending the draft. Funk's number got called. He showed up at the Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania Induction Center, 24 years old, 5 foot 5 inches tall, 140 pounds. The Army physical examiner probably envisioned clerk duty upon seeing him. Wrong assumption. Funk volunteered for paratroopers. In 1941, American airborne forces barely existed. The concept was novel. Leaping from perfectly functional aircraft to land behind enemy territory and fight while surrounded, most soldiers considered it suicidal. Volunteers constituted a different breed. They had to be. Airborne training was designed to shatter you. 5 brutal weeks of running, jumping, climbing, falling, savage physical conditioning that eliminated half the candidates. Then came jump towers. Then actual aircraft. Your first C-47 exit at 1,200 feet. Your entire body screams for grabbing and holding the doorframe. The ground stretches far below. Wind rips at your face. Your parachute consists of merely fabric, cord, and faith. Funk earned his jump wings. Got assigned to Company C, 1st Battalion, 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment, Camp Blanding, Florida. The 508th shipped to England late 1943. They joined the 82nd Airborne Division, the All-Americans, veterans of Sicily and Italy. These men had already made combat jumps. They'd already killed enemies and witnessed friends dying. Funk represented the new guy. 27 years old, ancient by paratrooper standards. Most squadmates barely reached 20, but Funk possessed something they lacked. Maturity, steadiness, the quiet competence that makes men follow you into hell. By D-Day, he'd become a squad leader. Eventually, he'd serve as acting company executive officer. First, though, Normandy survival was required. June 6th, 1944, 1:30 a.m. The C-47 Skytrain shudders as flak detonates around it. Funk stands in the stick, the paratrooper line awaiting the jump. 60 pounds of equipment strapped to his body, M1A1 Thompson submachine gun, ammunition, grenades, rations, medical kit. The aircraft flies at 400 feet, too low for safe jumping. But the pilots cannot climb. German anti-aircraft fire saturates the area. Tracers slice through darkness like furious fireflies. The men hear fragments pinging off fuselage. The Normandy invasion includes 13,000 paratroopers from the 82nd and 101st Airborne divisions. They're supposed to land behind beaches, secure bridges and crossroads, block German reinforcements from reaching the coast. Nothing proceeds according to plan. The green light illuminates. Funk jumps. The prop blast strikes him like a truck. Then the chute deploys and silence descends. Below stretches France, occupied France. Enemy territory in every direction. The D-Day airborne operation becomes chaos from minute one. German anti-aircraft fire has scattered formations across 50 miles of French countryside. Paratroopers land in flooded fields and drown under equipment weight. Others descend into German camp centers and die before cutting free of harnesses. Funk hits hard. His ankle twists on impact, badly sprained, possibly fractured. Pain arrives immediate and intense. Every step will bring agony for the next 2 weeks. But walking remains possible, fighting remains possible, and that's sufficient. He gathers his chute, buries it, begins moving. He's 40 miles from his drop zone. 40 miles of German-held territory in darkness alone. Within hours, he's gathered a group of lost paratroopers, men from different units, different companies, different regiments. Eventually 18 of them, all seeking leadership. Funk provides it. For 10 days, Funk leads this group through German-held territory, moving nightly, hiding daily, fighting when necessary. He insists on serving as lead scout despite his injured ankle, placing himself in maximum danger to protect his men. They link up with Allied forces June 17th. Every single man survives, not one casualty. 10 days behind enemy lines, 40 miles of German-occupied France, and Leonard Funk brings them all safely back. The Silver Star comes next, third highest combat decoration, plus a Bronze Star for meritorious service, plus his first Purple Heart. Funk is only beginning. September 17th, 1944, Holland. Operation Market Garden, history's largest airborne assault. 35,000 paratroopers dropping into the Netherlands to seize a series of Rhine bridges. British, American, Polish forces all jumping together. If successful, the Allies reach Germany by Christmas. Field Marshal Montgomery's plan shows ambition, perhaps excessive ambition. The paratroopers must capture and hold 7 bridges across 64 miles of Dutch territory. Ground forces will race up a single highway to link up with them. Everything depends on speed, surprise, nothing going wrong. Everything goes wrong. The British 1st Airborne Division lands at Arnhem, the furthest bridge. They're surrounded by SS Panzer divisions not supposed to be there. For 9 days they fight and die in streets. Only 2,000 of 10,000 men escape. The bridge too far enters military history as cautionary tale. But Leonard Funk doesn't know the big picture. He only knows his mission: support landings, secure drop zones, kill Germans. After touchdown, his company secures their objective: standard operations. The 508th operates near Nijmegen, helping capture bridges allowing ground force advancement. Then Funk notices something unplanned. 3 German 20mm flak, Vierling anti-aircraft guns fire at incoming Allied gliders. The gliders carry reinforcements, jeeps, artillery pieces, ammunition, medical supplies. If those guns continue firing, hundreds of men will die before landing. The gun position sits dug in on high ground near Vauxhall. Approximately 20 German soldiers man weapons and provide security, sandbags, camouflage, interlocking fire fields. Funk has 3 men. Standard military doctrine requires 3-to-1 advantage for assaulting prepared positions. Funk has the opposite. He's outnumbered 7-to-1. He attacks anyway. Leading from front, Funk and his 3-man patrol assault the German position. They kill the security detachment, storm gun emplacements, neutralize all 3 weapons and crews. 20 Germans, 3 Americans. The guns fall silent, the gliders land safely. The Distinguished Service Cross arrives, 2nd highest valor decoration, 1 step below Medal of Honor. Funk now possesses a Silver Star and a DSC, 2 of American military's rarest combat decorations. Most soldiers earning even 1 are considered lifetime heroes. Funk still isn't finished. December 16th, 1944. The Germans launch their final desperate offensive. 3 armies, 400,000 men, 1,400 tanks, 1,900 artillery pieces. They smash through American lines in Ardennes forest, aiming for Antwerp port. Hitler's plan is insane but nearly succeeds. He's gambling everything on one massive attack. Split Allied armies, capture Antwerp, force negotiated Western peace so Germany can focus on Eastern Soviets. For Americans, it's nightmare. The offensive strikes thinly held sectors manned by green troops and exhausted veterans pulled offline for rest. Entire divisions crumble. Thousands of soldiers surrender. The German advance creates a bulge 50 miles deep in Allied lines. The Battle of the Bulge, the largest battle American army will fight in World War II. 89,000 American casualties before ending. The weather proves brutal. Snow, ice, temperatures plunging to 5 degrees below zero. Men freeze to death in foxholes. Weapons jam. Vehicles won't start. The cold kills as effectively as Germans. Then comes Malmedy. December 17th, 1944. One day into the offensive, a convoy from the 285th Field Artillery Observation Battalion moves near Bognes Crossroads when they encounter the spearhead of Kampfgruppe Paper, an SS armored battle group. The Americans are rear echelon troops, artillery observers, radio operators. They're not equipped for tank and armored infantry combat. After brief engagement, 113 Americans surrender. They're herded into a farmer's field near the crossroads. Hands raised, disarmed, prisoners of war. Then, the SS opens fire. Machine guns, pistols, rifles. The Germans shoot them down like cattle. Men attempting escape get cut down. Men falling wounded receive finishing headshots. 84 Americans die in that field. Some survive by feigning death. They lie in snow for hours. German boots walking past. German voices laughing. When darkness falls, 43 survivors crawl away and reach American lines. The news spreads through American army. Within hours, everyone knows Germans are executing prisoners. Malmedy changes everything. Before, the European war had rules, unofficial, unspoken, but real. Soldiers surrendered when situations became hopeless. Prisoners received Geneva Convention treatment. A grim professionalism existed between enemies. After Malmedy, the rules vanish. American soldiers swear never to surrender to SS. Some units pass orders. No SS prisoners. When Funk hears about the massacre, something hardens inside. He's already seen too much. Normandy, Holland. Friends dying in fields and forests across Europe. But this differs. This is murder. Cold-blooded execution of men who surrendered in good faith. Leonard Funk decides he'll never surrender to Germans, no matter what. That decision will matter very soon. January 29th, 1945. The Ardennes. The German offensive has broken. Now Allies push back. Company C, 508th Parachute Infantry, receives orders to capture Belgian village Holzheim. There's a problem. Company C is under strength. The executive officer, second in command, has been killed. They lack sufficient men for assault. Funk now serves as acting executive officer. He examines his depleted roster and decides. He walks to company headquarters tent. Inside sit clerks, supply personnel, cooks, men who normally never see combat. You're all infantry now, Funk tells them. Grab weapons. We're taking that village. He forms a makeshift platoon. 30 men who've spent most war behind desks. They've had basic training, sure, but actual combat most have never fired at another human being. Funk doesn't care. He needs bodies. He'll transform them into soldiers. The Holzheim march covers 15 miles through waist-deep snow in driving blizzard. Temperatures well below freezing. German artillery shells explode around them, harassing fire from flanks. Funk leads from front. They reach Holzheim. Funk organizes the assault. His clerks, his makeshift warriors, follow him into village. 15 houses, Germans in each one. Machine guns, rifles, grenades. Funk and his men clear them all. 30 prisoners captured, not one American casualty. Another unit captures 50 more Germans on the village's far side. 80 prisoners total. They're corralled in a farmhouse yard. Funk looks at his exhausted men. They've been marching and fighting for hours. Resistance continues in other village parts. Scattered German soldiers who haven't yet surrendered. He can spare only 4 men to guard prisoners. Keep them here, he tells the guards. We'll send reinforcements when possible. Funk heads back into the fight. He has no idea what's about to happen behind him. While Funk clears the rest of Holzheim, a German patrol approaches the farmhouse. 10 men, maybe 20, wearing white camouflage capes over uniforms. In snow and confusion, they look nearly identical to American troops in winter gear. The 4 guards don't recognize danger until too late. The Germans overwhelm them, disarm them, force them to knees. Then they free the prisoners. 80 German soldiers plus the liberating patrol, 90 men total. They grab weapons from the pile. They organize quickly. They know exactly their plan. Attack Company C from the rear. Funk's company is scattered across village, mopping up resistance. They're not expecting rear attack. If 90 Germans strike while they're spread out, it'll be massacre. The German officer in charge, probably lieutenant or captain, begins issuing orders. Position machine guns here. Establish ambush there. Await my signal. That's when Leonard Funk rounds the corner. Funk came to check on prisoners. Routine. Ensure guards are okay. See if reinforcements have arrived. He's not expecting to walk into 90 armed Germans. He rounds the farmhouse corner and stops cold. The scene is surreal. His 4 guards kneel in snow. The prisoners, who should be unarmed and contained, stand everywhere, rifles in hands, organizing for battle. The German officer spots Funk immediately. The first sergeant stripes on his sleeve mark him as leader, a prize. The officer strides forward, shoves his MP40 into Funk's belly, screams a command in German, "Surrender, drop your weapon." Except, Funk doesn't speak German. He has zero idea what the officer's saying. The officer screams again, louder. His face reddens, veins bulging in neck. Funk looks around. 90 Germans, half-armed. His 4 men disarmed and helpless. 1 other American soldier standing beside him, equally helpless. The survival mathematics equals 0. No scenario exists where Leonard Funk wins this fight. He's outnumbered 90-1. The sensible thing, the rational thing, is surrendering. But Funk remembers Malmedy. 84 Americans murdered in a field, shot like animals, left freezing in snow. He's already decided never to surrender to Germans. So, instead of complying, Leonard Funk does something inexplicable. He starts laughing. Nobody knows precisely why Funk laughed. Maybe it was ruse, deliberate tactic to confuse enemy and buy time. Maybe stress. The human brain does strange things facing certain death. Maybe genuine amusement. The situation's absurdity. An officer screaming in language Funk couldn't understand, expecting compliance. Funk himself later said he tried stopping laughter but couldn't. Something about Germans screaming in German touched a nerve. Whatever the reason, the effect is devastating. The German officer screams louder. Funk laughs harder. He bends over, shoulders shaking, calls out to his men. I don't understand what he's saying. Some German soldiers start laughing too. The tension is bizarre. Their officer is turning purple with rage, and this American won't stop cackling. The officer is completely thrown off. This isn't how prisoners behave. They beg, they plead, they comply. They don't stand there laughing while you jam a gun in their stomach. For several critical seconds, the German officer doesn't know what to do, and Leonard Funk uses those seconds. Still appearing to laugh, Funk slowly reaches up toward his Thompson submachine gun. It's slung over his shoulder, standard carrying position for paratroopers. The German officer watches. This looks good. The American is finally surrendering his weapon. Funk's hand closes on the Thompson's grip. He begins unslinging it slowly, carefully. The German relaxes slightly. He's about to gain another prisoner, another trophy. Then Funk moves in one motion, faster than thought. He swings the Thompson down, brings the muzzle into line, squeezes trigger. The M1A1 Thompson fires 45 ACP rounds at 600 per minute. At close range, each round hits like a sledgehammer. The bullets don't merely wound, they destroy. The first burst catches the German officer in chest. 30 rounds in under 3 seconds. The officer is dead before hitting ground. Funk doesn't stop, can't stop. The moment he started shooting, he committed to killing everyone or dying himself. No middle ground exists. He pivots, still firing. The Thompson sprays a lead arc across German soldiers nearest him. Men scream, men fall, blood sprays across snow, brass casings tumble through air, steaming in cold. The magazine runs dry. 30 rounds gone in seconds. This is the critical moment. A Thompson takes 2 seconds to reload if you're practiced. 2 seconds is eternity in firefight. 2 seconds is sufficient time for 90 Germans to kill 1 American. Funk yanks the empty magazine out, slams a fresh one in, racks the bolt, keeps shooting. The whole sequence takes less than a heartbeat. Muscle memory. Thousands of training hours compressed into one fluid motion. Simultaneously, he's screaming at his men. Pick up their weapons. Pick up their weapons. The 4 guards, still kneeling, scramble for rifles the dead Germans dropped. Seconds ago, they were prisoners. Now they're fighting for lives. The Germans are in chaos. Their officer is dead. The American who was laughing is now killing them. Nobody gave orders for this. Nobody knows what to do. Some shoot back. Bullets crack past Funk's head. 1 round kills the soldier standing beside him. Funk keeps firing, moving, killing. His guards have weapons now. They're shooting too. The Germans are caught in unexpected crossfire. 60 seconds, that's all it takes. 21 German soldiers lie dead in snow. 24 more are wounded. The rest, more than 40, have thrown down weapons and raised hands. The prisoners are prisoners again. Leonard Funk stands amid carnage, smoke rising from his Thompson, surrounded by bodies. That, he tells his men, was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. The aftermath is almost anticlimactic. Company C secures Holzheim. The captured Germans, the survivors anyway, get marched to rear under much heavier guard this time. Funk reports the incident to his commanding officer. Just another firefight, just another war day. But the story spreads through regiment, through division, through entire 82nd Airborne. The sergeant who laughed at 90 Germans and killed half with a Tommy gun. When the Medal of Honor recommendation reaches Washington, nobody questions it. What Funk did at Holzheim is beyond dispute. Outnumbered 90-1, enemy weapon in gut, and instead of surrendering, he attacked. The official citation reads, he was ordered to surrender by a German officer who pushed a machine pistol into his stomach. Although overwhelmingly outnumbered and facing almost certain death, First Sergeant Funk, pretending to comply with the order, began slowly unslinging his submachine gun from his shoulder, and then with lightning motion brought the muzzle into line and riddled the German officer. He turned upon other Germans, firing and shouting to other Americans to seize enemy weapons. September 5, 1945, the White House. President Harry Truman places the Medal of Honor around Leonard Funk's neck. "I would rather have this medal," Truman says, "than be President of the United States. Let's count what Leonard Funk earned during World War II. Medal of Honor for Holzheim. Distinguished Service Cross for anti-aircraft guns in Holland. Silver Star for leading 18 men through 40 miles of enemy territory in Normandy. Bronze Star for meritorious service. Purple Heart, 3 of them. He was wounded 3 separate times and kept fighting. Plus the Croix de Guerre from France. Order of Leopold from Belgium. Military Order of William from Netherlands, their Victoria Cross equivalent. Leonard Funk is World War II's most decorated paratrooper. 5 foot 5 inches tall, 140 pounds, a former store clerk who became legend. The war ends. Funk goes home. He doesn't write a book, doesn't do lecture circuit, doesn't turn his Medal of Honor into speaking career or political platform. He doesn't cash in on fame. He goes back to Pennsylvania and gets a Veterans Administration job. The VA, the massive bureaucracy responsible for caring for America's former soldiers, helping other veterans navigate paperwork, processing disability claims, cutting through red tape for men who'd given everything and now needed help getting what they were owed. The same clerk work he did before war, the same quiet, unglamorous, necessary work. For 27 years, Leonard Funk sits at a desk and helps veterans. He rises through ranks, becomes division chief of Pittsburgh Regional Office. Good salary, steady hours, pension waiting at end. His wife Gertrude sticks with him through all of it. They have 2 daughters. They live in McKeesport, Pennsylvania, a working-class neighborhood in a working-class town not far from where he grew up. The Medal of Honor hangs in a case somewhere. The Distinguished Service Cross, the Silver Star, All foreign decorations from France and Belgium and Netherlands. He never talks about them. When people ask about Holzheim, about the laughing, about the 90 Germans, he shrugs it off. Did what I had to do. That's it. That's all he ever says. November 20th, 1992. Braddock Hills, Pennsylvania. Leonard Alfred Funk, Jr. dies of cancer. He's 76 years old. They bury him at Arlington National Cemetery. Section 35. Grave 23734. Among heroes of every American war. At death, he's the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient from the 82nd Airborne Division in World War II. A fitness center at Fort Bragg, now Fort Liberty, is named after him. A Pennsylvania highway bears his name. A McKeesport post office was dedicated to him in 2023, but most people have never heard of Leonard Funk. They know Audie Murphy. They know Alvin York, famous Medal of Honor recipients. They don't know the short, quiet paratrooper who laughed at 90 Germans and killed 21 with a Tommy gun. Here's what the Leonard Funk story teaches us. War doesn't favor the big, it doesn't favor the strong. It doesn't favor the reckless or fearless. War favors those who keep thinking when everyone else has stopped. At Holzheim, Leonard Funk had every reason to surrender. The math was impossible. 90 against 1. A gun in stomach. His men already captured. Any rational person would have given up. But Funk wasn't thinking about math. He was thinking about Malmedy, about 84 Americans murdered in a field, about what Germans did to prisoners, and he was thinking about his men, the 4 guards on knees. The soldiers scattered across village who would be struck from behind if these Germans escaped. So he laughed, maybe as tactic, maybe from stress, maybe because the whole thing struck him as absurd. And while the German officer was confused, while everyone was off balance, Leonard Funk made his move. 60 seconds later, he was standing in a field of bodies, alive when he should have been dead. There's a quote often attributed to President Truman about the Medal of Honor. "I would rather have this medal than be President of the United States." He said it to Leonard Funk. September 5th, 1945. The White House Rose Garden. Think about that. The world's most powerful man. The man who had just ended World War II. The man who would reshape entire global order. Looking at a 5'5" former store clerk from Pennsylvania and saying, "I'd rather be you." Because what Truman understood, what everyone who reads Medal of Honor citations understands, is that courage isn't about size or strength or training. Courage is what you do when there's a gun in your stomach, and 90 men want you dead.